Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of GM Fantasy. I'm Paul, and in today's video, we're going to take a look at 5 players that I think you need to trade away ASAP. So let's check it out. So I'm going to go over 5 players in this video that I think still have some value, but would probably be prime trade away targets because I think they're going to have either already started going on their downfall or will very soon. So I'm going to start with Zay Flowers. Now, Zay Flowers is he's having a good year so far this year. You know, he's definitely leading the team in targets with what was he? He got 9 targets in week 1 and then 11 targets in week 2 with 143 yards and 75 yards and a touchdown. So he's having a good start to the season. Unfortunately, I don't think this is really going to hold up throughout the whole year. He's only topped 1,000 yards once. He hasn't had more than 5 touchdowns in a year. He does get targets because he's the only target option really on the team. But recently, Lamar's been looking at a bunch of other players. You know, the tight ends are getting some targets. You know, you got DeAndre Hopkins there now. You've got the emergence of Tez Walker out of nowhere last week. You know, Bateman is still a thing. So it's just, I think the targets are going to get more spread out as the weeks go. And I think his value is going to start to tank. So I'm thinking, might as well trade him away now while he's got some value. You can probably get some decent draft capital out of him. Like you could maybe get a first, if not definitely a couple seconds. And player-wise, you can get a decent starting player for him in exchange. So I'm looking to trade Zay Flowers anywhere I can. Now, don't sell him for pennies because he does have value and he can help you definitely. Like, he's a great bye-week filler, don't get me wrong. But if you can get some decent capital for him, I would definitely be looking to make that trade. After that, we're going to have Tyreek Hill. Now, Tyreek Hill, he's already 30 years old. I want to say, like, he looked okay the last couple of games. So I'm not going to say he's completely fallen off, but he's over the age of 30. It's bound to happen soon. So I want to get ahead of that and maybe like wait till he has one more good game and then try to sell him as soon as possible. You know, Miami has been struggling like out of the gate so far, and can they turn it around? Possibly, but I don't know. Like everything I'm hearing out of Miami is McDaniels has lost the locker room, and it's just looking towards one of those down the spiral years for a team where they're just going to underperform and underachieve in almost every category. You know, and there's also the off-field issues that pose a big risk, right? Now, nothing's happening as of right now. You never know. Like if the NFL decides to start doing an investigation, he can out of nowhere get a suspension in the middle of the year or even for next year. So I'm looking to trade away Tyreek Hill. Like if you're a competing team and you're like going for it all, that would probably be the only time where maybe I would hold Tyreek Hill just in case he actually starts really producing, because he has that boom potential. You can't deny that. But if you're a middle team or a rebuilding team, I am selling him so fast, and I will take almost anything I can get for him. Like if I can get a couple seconds for him, I'm trading him. Obviously, if you get a first, you make that deal right away. Player-wise, if you can get someone younger in a similar position, I would definitely do that as well. So look to trade away Tyreek Hill. He's definitely past his prime, and I think you can do much better going forward. Okay, next we're going to have is AJ Brown. And don't get me wrong, I like AJ Brown. I think he's a great player. You know, I think he's only 28 years old at the moment, so it's not like he's super old, but he's on the Philadelphia Eagles, and they are a running team. The passing volume is like virtually disappeared almost. I think he had like 8 targets last game, but he only had like 20 something yards. And then the game before that, he had 1 target. It doesn't bode well because Philly is such a strong team that they're just going to run. And I just don't see him having a great year. You know, like he'll have games here and there where I'm sure he'll have 100 something yards and a touchdown, but it's not going to be consistent. It's going to be very sporadic. And if you're a contending team, you need to make sure you have like a player that's going to be very consistent for you in your lineup. So if I'm able to trade AJ Brown, I'm definitely going to look for it. You know, like I said, he's not super old, but he has been getting a lot of injuries lately as well. You know, his hamstring has always been bothering him, and you know how hamstrings always like to pop back up. So if I can unload AJ Brown for something decent, I'm definitely going to look to do that. After that, I got James Conner. Now, this one kind of pains me to bring up. I love James Conner. He's been so big for me over the years. I remember I drafted him when he was a rookie on my old timers league, and he's been on my team ever since. And it seems like he was getting better as he aged. But now I'm a little worried. He's 30 years old now. His snap share has declined quite a bit. Trey Benson is now a thing. So he's not going to be getting you the consistent points that he's been getting you before, because he was essentially a volume-based producer. And now that his volume is taking a hit, he's not going to produce as much. In my mind, he's going to be touchdown dependent. I'm looking to get out of James Conner if the price is right. Like in one of my leagues, like I'm probably going to keep him just because I need him as a depth piece. But I'm also contending. But if I wasn't contending, I'd be looking to trade him away. He's not a stranger to any injuries. Like he consistently misses a game or two per year, if not a little bit more. He's getting older, and 30 is the drop off for running back. So I'm looking to get to unload him for anything. Like I'll take a couple seconds. I'll take a 1 second for him actually if I really think about it. So look to move on from James Conner. If you can somehow get Trey Benson, that would be the only time I think, okay, maybe you can keep James Conner as a handcuff. After that, I've got Terry McLaurin. Now, Terry McLaurin is 29 years old 30 years old going into this year. Is he the number one wide receiver for Washington? I'm not so sure anymore. Debo is looking very good, like he's been getting the majority of the targets. I think he has all the touchdowns so far. I don't think McLaurin has one. McLaurin's been having bad games, like this isn't news, like every year, like he'll show up with like a decent game, but then he gets games of under 5 points on I'm not going to say on a regular basis, but it happens more often than you want. I know last year in the finals, my opponent had him, and man, was I happy. I think he got like 1 point. So you can't have weeks like that. Like you need consistency, especially if you're competing. And he's never even really been that great. I don't think he's ever had over 1,200 yards. Like he's been consistently in the 1,000-yard range with like 3-4 touchdowns, and last year being an anomaly of I think he had 13 touchdowns. And so we'll see what happens this year. But at 30 years old, just signing a new contract, I'm not a big fan of players when they sign a contract, because then they tend to get lazy, not having to really like prove their worth. So I'm definitely looking to trade off of Terry McLaurin. So those are my 5 guys that I think you should definitely try to be trading ASAP, before their values take any more hits rather. Some of them have already taken a hit. But if you're able to get these guys for some draft capital for next year, or for even some depth players that you think might have a better outcome by the end of the year, I would definitely make the move. So I'm going to leave it at that. Thanks a lot for sticking around, guys. If you've been here this long, please do me a huge favor. Hit the like button, subscribe, put some comments in the comments section. Let me know if there's any other players that you think are trade worthy. And I'll be happy to go back and forth with you on that. If you are interested in seeing what a contract league looks like, I have 2 vlog series going on right now. One with 2 leagues that I've been part of for quite a while now. And then I got another one with on League Tycoon called the GM Charter Fantasy League with some subscribers. So if you're curious on how a contract league operates, join us for the ride. I'm going to be updating quarterly throughout the year on any trades, drama, standings, and we'll see who's crowned the champion by the end of the year. I've got also a bunch of other videos. My last video is my top 5 trade targets to go get. This one is the opposite. So there's going to be more things to come, guys. Thanks a lot for sticking around, and more things to come in the future. So have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.